You ever been mad at somebody for not doing what you expected, even though you never even really told them what you expected? I mean, you had it all in your head, right? How they should show up, what they should say, what they should have done, but they didn't meet your unspoken expectations, and now you're holding it against them. They failed a test that they didn't even know that they were taking. And you built up this story in your mind about how they're the bad guy because they didn't do what you wanted them to, despite having no idea that you wanted them to. So now you're frustrated, they're confused, and now there's this weird tension where nobody's really saying anything, but everything still feels off. Or here's another one. Let's say you've known somebody your whole life and they've always acted in a certain way, right? Or they've never acted in a certain way. They've never taken responsibility for their mistakes. They've never checked in on you when you were going through something. They never apologized first or at all. They've never really shown up when it mattered. And, every time there's stress or conflict or something important comes up, they show you who they are every time without fail. And yet you still get disappointed when they don't respond the way that you wish they would, even though their entire history says otherwise, even though they've never acted that way. They have never shown you that they're capable of it. And you still get mad and you still get hurt. Like something new just happened when they're just being consistent to who they've always been. And that's the trap of unspoken and unrealistic expectations. You ain't just mad at them, you're mad at the version of them that you made up in your head. And now you're punishing them and yourself, for that matter, for not being somebody they never even claimed to be. So where does this come from? Why do you keep expecting people to act differently than they always have? Why do you keep setting yourself up to be disappointed? Here's the truth that, most people don't even look at. It didn't just start in your adulthood. It started way before that as a kid, because you learned real quick that asking directly for what you needed ain't always work. Maybe you got yelled at. Maybe you were made to feel needy or dramatic, like you were asking for too much. So instead of asking, you learn to hope. You learn to hint, to people please, to perform, to play nice. And you would silently kind of expect people just to know. And now that same wiring is running your life. You don't communicate what you want, right? You just expect it. And then you hold it against people when they don't read your mind. But if you're being real, you're not just mad at them. You're actually reacting to something that's a lot deeper than that. And you don't even realize it most of the time because this is all subconscious stuff. Like you're not sitting there thinking about your childhood or your past, but it feels like, another moment where somebody didn't show up for you when it mattered. And even though it's a different situation, your body still responds like it's the same story. So now you're mad. On the surface, it's about them. But if you stop and think about it logically, how can you be mad at someone for something they didn't know to do, right? The anger isn't about this moment or this incident. It's about everything that it triggered. And that's why it hits so hard. That's why it feels so personal, even when it's not. What you're actually doing is walking around with these invisible scorecards for every person in your life. You're keeping score in your head, and they don't even know that there's a score to keep. You've been counting every time they didn't show up, every time they forgot, every time that they missed the mark that you set. But you never say anything, you never bring it up, you just let it build. And then one day, it just explodes, or you shut down, or you start pulling away because it feels like they failed you over and over and over. But the truth is, they never even knew that they were losing your trust. They never had a chance to fix it because you never gave them the chance to even see it. And every time that you stay silent, you're training them to think that it's okay. You're showing them that the version of them that forgets you, that doesn't check in, that barely shows up, you're training them that somehow that's good enough for you. And so they just keep doing it. and you keep resenting it, but you never draw the line. So let me give you an example about this, okay? You keep waiting for your mom or your dad to hit you up and ask you how the kids are doing, right? To check in on them, to be present, to show that they care, but they never do. And it bothers the shit out of you. But you also never actually told them that it mattered to you. You just expected that as a grandparent, they should know. And so you secretly build up this resentment, right? While they're sitting on the other end completely unaware. And what you have to understand is people are in their own worlds. They're not thinking about what you expect. They're doing what they've always done. And unless you say something, they're just going to keep doing it. But not because they don't care, but because they literally don't even know that there's a problem. And guaranteed, there's someone out there right now who's mad at you, upset with you, or frustrated with you because you didn't do what they expected you to do. And you ain't got no idea, right? You see how that works both ways? You see how ridiculous that is? We're all walking around expecting each other to read minds and then getting mad or getting hurt when nobody does. And here's the price that you keep paying for all this. You don't fully trust people. You don't speak up. You don't say what you need. You just let these little things build until one day you either blow up or you shut down and walk away without ever giving them a chance. And then you tell yourself you're protecting your peace. But that's not peace, that's avoidance. Because saying what you really need would mean you might risk rejection. And whether you realize it or not, that is a form of control. If you don't speak your expectations, then you get to keep the upper hand. You never risk hearing no. You never risk being disappointed. So instead, you just keep it all inside. And that way, if they let you down, you get to say, see, I knew it. They were going to let me down. But that's not peace. That's like emotional insurance, right? So what do you do with all this? Well, first, you got to stop expecting and start expressing. You say what you need to say. You say what matters to you. Because if you don't speak it, then you can't expect it. If you don't give people clear expectations, you don't get to hold it against them when they miss. Clarity is leadership. Clarity is love, right? Clarity is how you protect your peace without punishing everybody around you for not reading your mind. The second that you hear yourself saying, they should have known, you got to stop. And then you got to ask yourself, did I actually say it? Did I ask for it clearly? Did I ever explain how much it mattered to me? Because if the answer is no, then you aren't in a place to blame them. The way I see it from here on out, you got two options. You either say it or you stop holding it against them. Speak your expectation and give them a chance to meet it, or let it go and stop keeping score. But don't sit in the middle. Don't live in that quiet, festering frustration. Don't poison the relationship because you didn't want to feel awkward for 5 seconds. Just say it. And if they can't meet you there, at least now you know. So there's no more guessing. There's no more hoping. There's no more trying to get people to change by punishing them with silence or you being passive aggressive. That's weak. So either speak up or let it go. But stop expecting people to pass a test that they didn't even know they were taking. I hope you got something from this, because it's very important. We all deal with this, these unrealistic expectations of people, or these unspoken expectations of people. And we get so mad about it. And we get so frustrated, and it ruins so many relationships when a simple conversation would solve all the problems. But nobody wants to be uncomfortable. We got to get over that shit. All right? If you got something from this and you're not already, I ask that you hit that subscribe button, because this helps, send the message out to more people. Like it, leave a comment. I read everyone. Shoot me an email if you need help with anything. I'm always available. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.